Hello, this video is going to be about changing the instrument cluster lights to a different color on an 08 through an 2011 element. I have an EX and I want to change my instrument cluster lights to blue. And the older versions you can actually pop the bulbs out and put new bulbs in. They're already LEDs, so changing those are a lot more difficult, and I'll show you some of the LEDs a little later on to show you why they're more difficult. You'd have to desolder the old ones, find new ones, which might be difficult, and then solder them back in. So you have to be very proficient at soldering. But I found a different way to do it, and a lot easier that anybody could do. To start out with, we're going to have to take the dash panel off, and to do that we're going to start, turn it wide around here. I'm going to start by taking this side panel here loose. I don't have a whole lot of light here, hang on. Okay, we're going to start by taking this side panel off, which you need a prying tool, and mine has been so much I have to get a knife in here to start with because it is so tight in here. You can get a screwdriver, small screwdriver, something of that sort. But once you get the prying tool in it, which mine's being a pain, it'll just pop back, and once you've had these off once or twice, they'll come out a lot easier. And just pop it out. Now, to take the rest of this panel off, the first thing you got to do, and you have to get this one here, there's one screw right here that you need to take loose first. And that holds this whole piece on up here. Now, again, like I said, if you've had these off before, these pop off pretty easily. If not, you may have to pry it a little bit. This one's been off a few times, so I can just pull right here and it'll actually pop loose. You might have to lower your steering wheel. And that comes right off. Now, in here, you have 4 screws. One here, 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 and here. When you take those loose, the whole panel will come out, and this has one plug in the back, and I'll show you that plug on another one I have on the bench, and I'll be back with that in a few minutes. Okay, what I've found, I got these at Michael's. It's a hobby shop. They're from Creatology, and they're different color film type lenses, just very thin plastic lenses in different colors, and just happens to be the colors of most of our elements. There's 10 of each color in this pack, so there's plenty. And what I've done with this, and I'll have to show you what I had to do. You have to take this part. You have to pry these apart here to get them off. Do not do this with it cold. because if it's cold, they will break off. Because this is one I got from a salvage yard, and I have a handful of them break off. But you pry those loose, and they'll come loose off of there. And I'm making this a shortcut because I've already had this thing apart. Anyway, I take this part loose. In order to get this off, you take 2 spoons, and you can come in here. The first thing is you see how far down the gauge goes, or you'll see how to put it back on. You put this underneath both sides, and you pop up, and it pops right off. And then once you get that off, there's another little ring that's behind there that you have to get off too. And I found most of them will pop loose really quick. If they don't, you have to get a tiny screwdriver that'll fit in there to push those tabs in to get it loose. Most of them come right off. Anyway, once you get this loose, you can take this screen here off, and you can take the back of it, and you just put this on here. And I took a marker, and I just traced around this, and I did not get where these instrument tools. This has got the tools, the TPMS, and the low tire. And once you get that out, get it traced out, you just cut it out with a pair of scissors or an X-Acto knife, whatever. And you just set that back in, or like this. This was supposed to be red, but it actually looks more orange. But anyway, you put that on there. You put this on. Back on here. You put the little ring back in. You line them up with the little tabs in here. There you go. And this part here, there's light in the center part that comes up here. It shoots through the dial. So you get these lined up, and it just pushes down in there. So this was, and if it's not far enough, you can actually go back around, and that's where this is going, and that's where this was, a little bit below the 0. But to adjust it, if I want it further down, I just push it down. If I want it further up, I have to go all the way around to where it stops and push it a little bit more. Now it'll stop right there on 0. I don't want it on 0 on this because this gauge was down there. And you do that with each one of these gauges. And this one's a little harder because you got 2 circles, and I had to do this with an X-Acto knife. But you can cover all of this in the bottom as well. These lights will shine through very easily. And once you get that on there, you just all that back together, and you just put this, slide this on here, and then you just pop it back together, pop those all back together real good, and then you're ready to put it back in the car. Now I'm going to show you what the LEDs will look like, but I'm going to have to, it'll take me a minute because I've got to disassemble it even more, and I'll be back with you. Okay, I'm back to show you where these LEDs are. Just show you in the back, this only has one connector right here on the edge. The older ones have it in the center. And I think there's 2 of them on the older ones. Anyway, you have to take all these, pop these, all these white tabs back to separate this, and with everything loose from the front. And when you eventually can get it apart, because it's not easy, this will be in here, and the board actually plugs in to the LCD here, which showing this is actually the chip that shows the mileage and all that kind of stuff. When you take it apart, and you can see all of these little places on here are all LEDs. So unless you're very good at soldering, you're not going to take those off. I could probably do it because I've done it when I was in the military, but finding the LEDs might be even harder than trying to get them off of here. But anyway, once you get this all swapped over, once you get these swapped over and put the pieces of film in it and reassembled, then you just stick it back in the car and you reverse what I did to take it out to put it back in, and I'll go out and I'll show you the final product. Okay, back in the garage, and I'll show you the final product. This is our blue, and if you crank it up, you'll see how bright blue they are. And you can see that the other gauges still show through the blue film on the right hand side, because that's actually covered with the blue film, but all of the whole instrument panel is blue. And yeah, I need to put some air in my tires, but that's it. And you can still turn this down and up for your brightness. So as far as that goes, that's going to be the rest of my video, and I'll see if I can't get this posted soon.